All right. Tonight, let me unmute you. There we go.
There we go.
Tonight we have SherriLynn, who is a top 10 income earner, ambassador diamonds, a mom of two, and just an incredible woman all around. And I'm so excited for you guys to hear her amazing tips tonight. I know I have my notebook ready. I'm ready to learn. SherriLynn, I'm just going to kind of have you start by sharing your story and how you got started in this.
Oh, absolutely. I'll do that. I'll share my story and I'll incorporate some tips as I share it. And then I can answer the questions that I didn't cover after. But thank you for having me. Like I said, Alyssa, I know for one, I'm very particular on who I have pour into my team, so I don't take it lightly. Thank you for having me. And then I just want you guys to know how lucky you are to have just such a hands-on leader pouring into you. I mean, you guys truly are blessed. When I joined at Works, I didn't have, Zooms and trainings like this. So the fact that you guys have an upline and a leader that does this kind of stuff, that's really rare and just such a blessing. So you guys are learning from the best with Alyssa and Michael. But okay, so I will get started. I joined It Works not quite, a little over 2 years ago. And so basically, I'll tell you where I guess I was during that time in my life. My girls were 1 and 2 years old at the time. And so they were, I had 2 babies, basically. They were both in diapers. And, well, Jossie, was she on? Yeah, she was probably still in diapers. Yeah, both in diapers. And so my life was kind of crazy. My husband and we were on staff at a church. And so I ran the women's ministry and he ran the young adults ministry. And then he also works and still works full-time in the financial industry as an equity trader. And so we were on staff at the church. I also had a small styling company that I ran and did personal shopping, and I had my kids and I was involved in a lot of stuff, and my life was almost like too full. Like my plate was overflowing. I was kind of like one of those moms where it's like if I showered, it was a good day, and life was kind of crazy. I had the 2 kids. They kind of rocked my world having them so close together. My second one was like I don't know what you call it. I shouldn't say an uh-oh, but she was an uh-oh. And so she was, you can get pregnant when you're still breastfeeding your first baby, second child. And so, yeah. So that's kind of where I was. Yeah. So the mom that's on there, you can get pregnant. Kelly's iPad. No. But yeah, so that's kind of where I was in life. But because my youngest had just turned 1, I had started weaning her and was ready to fit back in my jeans, honestly. I was pregnant, breastfeeding, like for the last 3.5, 4 years. And I was like, okay, I'm ready now to just fit in my clothes again, and not wear maternity jeans. And so I actually remember being on a girls trip in New York, and one of my best friends who I was with, she was like, man, Sherry, you don't ever wear jeans, do you? And I remember when she said that, I was like, okay, Kathy, thanks. It's not that I don't wear jeans, it's that none of them fit still, okay? So I wear leggings, but leggings are in. No, so I wanted my jeans to fit. So I'd actually had tried another company's 24-day challenge, trying to just lose that last 10 pregnancy pounds. That's kind of where I was, except for I'd not been pregnant for a year. But, the last 10 lingering. And so I just didn't really have luck losing the weight there. And I'm small, yes. People are always like, oh, you're tiny. But when you're 5 foot, 10 pounds is every pair of jeans in your closet. So I was really kind of wanting something for my stomach. My second baby, she was breech. So she was an emergency C-section. So I had some not fun stuff there, not so cute, smooth skin. And so I just kind of was a little self-conscious with my body, things like that. So all of that to say, I was not looking for another job. I could barely handle life as it was. But like most moms, I was scrolling on Instagram one day and I came across really an acquaintance that I went to Bible college with. And I saw her posting before and after tummy pictures. And I remember I was kind of like, what is Anne posting? Okay. And she had a really cute son. So I was like, I like seeing her son, but this is kind of weird. But it also kind of intrigued me. But I went on with my date. The next day, another before and after tummy picture. And at that point, I'm like, okay, is this photoshopped? And I'm measure, is the belly button the same size on both? And I was very, skeptical person, examining the photo, and I was like, huh, that's interesting. Okay. I see another photo. At that point, I actually tagged one of my friends, Kate, who will try and buy anything. And I tagged Kate, and I was like, at Kate Cotter, girl, you should try these wraps and let me know. Like, I'm not going to buy them, but Kate will buy anything. You know? So I remember even tagging Kate. Then I saw another before and after photo. Like, so she had just joined and was like blasting the before and after pics. So then I was like, okay, she's going to get unfollowed. I mean, like, her kid is cute. And I even remember going to her profile and being like, okay, this is way too many like before and after photos compared to her other photos. Like, she's going to get unfollowed, you know, but then I'm like, but let me ask her how much the wraps are first. So I remember messaging, like commenting, so how much are they? And so she quickly messaged me back and was like, hey, like, let me email you. I mean, this was like a little over 2 years ago. So we've more emailed. Now maybe I would text, I don't know. But so we start emailing back and forth, and basically she pitches me on being a loyal customer. So I'm like, awesome. Okay. I'll buy the wraps, you know, that's fine. $59. And I don't think I even understood that I could switch the products each month. Anne was actually brand new. She'd only been with It Works like 2 weeks. So I don't even know if she knew you could switch the products each month, but whatever. So I was going to do the wraps, but there was that part of me that's like, 3 months, I don't know. But I was still about to order. And then she says the best thing. And I don't know why it took me literally pretty much going ambassador before I started doing this. But she said, if it's easier for you, I can, you know, enroll you myself, or if you want to go to my website, you can. Like, what's easiest for you? And I remember when she said that line, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like horrible with computers. I'm actually like not technological at all. I made John sit next to me while I did Zooms like for my first year. Now I can do them alone, but that's how bad I am. And so when she said that, I was like, oh yeah. And I like sent her my info for her to enroll me. And that's the best thing. And I was always too scared to do that, because I was like, oh, no one is going to give me their credit card number. Like, oh my goodness, to become a distributor, nobody's giving me their social. Yeah, they do. They do. And that's how probably 90% of my sales are done, is me getting their information, because then the ball's in my court. I have control. I can close it, versus someone telling you they're going to order, and then you're just like, are you still going to order? And you got to think of an excuse to kind of follow up. And then, oh, great. Do I need to wait till Friday and follow up Friday? Or like, what do I do? You know, all that. I love it. Get their info. You do it. And if they don't want to order now, they're like, well, I can't this, but you know, the 15th is payday. Awesome. Here, would you like me to get your information? And I'll, you know, I'll put you with my orders that I'm inserting on the 15th, or I'm enrolling on the 15th, like whatever. That's what I do now. And it did make me get a little bit more organized than I liked, but it's so much better for me to get their stuff than to just send them to my website where they may not even go. You know, like I had a chick today tell me she was going to order from my website, and she hasn't yet, you know, and I gave her the option. She chose that. But now I always give them the option. Would you rather go to my website order? Would you like me to just enroll you myself so you don't have to worry about it? What's easiest for you? So like, that's kind of what I say. So anyway, so Anne has my information, about to enroll me, you know, I'm assuming it's done. And then last minute, she sends a message and says, just in case you're interested, for $40 more, you could become a distributor, you know, in case you have any friends or family that might like the products as well. And when she worded that, I was like, for $40 more. Okay, like it seems so simple. For $40 more, I could become a distributor just in case I have any friends or family that might be interested. And I don't know why I actually, so much of this stuff, it took me a while before like the light bulb clicked, but I don't know why I have not offered this to every single customer I've ever enrolled, because I showed zero interest in doing the business with Anne. In fact, I would have bet $1 million I was not going to ever do the business. I had never sold anything in my life. And so, you know, I didn't even know what MLM stood for. I didn't know what the word network marketing stood for. Like I'd heard of like, you know, Mary Kay and things, but like I didn't even know what that was. Like I had no idea even what this industry was, like nothing. And so anyway, so she said that. And so I remember thinking, well, I mean, I just had a baby. All my friends are having babies. Like, yeah, I mean, my friend Kate, who I tagged, who I don't think she ever saw it, she'll for sure buy from me. You know, my mom's guaranteed. You know, I might have a few people. I don't know what kind of money, but, you know, so that went through my head. So then I said to her, well, you know, do I have to order products every month? And this, you know, sometimes I don't like saying this on team pages, but I'm all about running an auto ship, but I'm just telling you what I sent to Anne. And I said, do I have to order product every month? And she goes, no, actually, you know, it's optional. And I was like, well, what if I want to cancel or quit? She goes, you can cancel or quit at any time for free. And I was like, okay, sure, enroll me, for $99. And that's how I became a distributor. And yes, of course, I quickly learned about auto ship and started running mine and did all of that. But I love how simple she kept it. Mm-hmm. And I can't tell you how many times, especially early on, I went into info overload with people with, the $20 website and 80 BV or 150 PBV or this or that, or in Ruby and three of them and one has two and all this. It's like, if she would have even told me what a Ruby chart was, I would have been like, heck no, like, I'm not doing this. I can't do this. Like, but she just kept it simple. $40 more, just in case. That would be my best tip to you, is do not info overload people. Give them the most little information, because I'm telling you, if I would have got all that information, I would have said, no way, Jose, and she wouldn't have an ambassador, on her team. And so, even Anne will, like, she's joked about it with me later. She's like, seriously, like, I would have placed you somewhere totally different on my chart. You acted like you were never going to do this, Sherry. And I was like, because I wasn't, you know what I mean? She's like, I had no idea you were really going to do this. And so, because I wasn't going to do it. And so that's how I got joined. Okay. So that's how I signed up, kept it simple. One more thing I want to point out was before and after pictures. I will be the first to say, like, I get so nervous about posting before and after pictures. I'm like, oh, they make my Instagram like not cute, and I don't know, this and that, and I'll post one, then I might delete it. But I do want to say, I always have to remind myself, Sherry, it was the before and after pictures that caught your attention. And so I don't know about you guys, but think right now, what was it that made you join? And don't be scared to ever utilize those things, because there's other people like you. So for me, it was seeing those, because, and so I remind myself to make sure I still do post pictures, here and there, because that's why I joined, is because I stalked her before and after photos. So that's that. After I joined, I quickly cried when my husband got home from work and was like, babe, I made the video. Oh my gosh, what I just did. And he's like, oh no. Cause he knows, like, I'm kind of not scared to spend money, but it didn't mean we would have it, So I'm like, I just joined this company. He's like, okay, so how much did you spend? And I was like, I paid $99. I basically wasted $99. I'm pretty sure I threw away $99. And he's like, okay, well, yeah, you do spend $99 when you go to Target, so calm down. And then he kind of went through the same things. He's like, what if you want to cancel? And I was like, she said I could if it doesn't work out. He's like, okay, so if it doesn't work out, you can cancel. I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, so you paid this and what, and I was like, oh, I get wraps and, I get over $99 worth of stuff. He's like, oh, okay. So you pay $99, you get over $99 worth of stuff, and you can cancel if it doesn't work out. And I was like, yeah. He's like, babe, that was a little risk, for potential reward. You're fine. And I love how he says that, because John trades literally millions of dollars of other people's money every day. And that's what he looks at. His whole life, he compares, if he wasn't sick, I'd make him explain this part, because I love when he explains it to husbands. But he talks about risk and reward. He's like, oh, this is such a low risk to potentially great reward. And he always tells me, or I hear him tell other husbands, if someone told you, hey, invest $1 million with me, the worst case is that I will hand you your $1 million back. But, it could turn into 100 million. It could turn into $1 billion. Like, would you invest that $1 million? Yeah, because there's not really a risk. And that's kind of how it is with work. It works. It's like, well, worst case, you pay $99 and you get, over $99 worth of product. So you're never going to be out. You can't lose money. You could decide not to go for it, but so I like that. So he actually calmed me down. He wasn't like the skeptical anti-husband. He was probably like, wow, Sherry wants to do something besides spend money for the first time in 10 years. This is cool, So he was really great with that. And so, so that was kind of where it was. So I wasn't going to do the business. In fact, my wraps came, I was excited, I wanted to try them, but I got added to some team page, but, there wasn't anything where I'm like, I'm going to do this business. And then I'll never forget, I had a hard time sleeping just because with my girls, they weren't the best sleepers. So they're still not. I don't know if I just had one crying upstairs. But so I couldn't sleep really well. And I opened Facebook, to scroll or whatever. And I saw the team page I was added on. And I remember seeing a link to an online Facebook wrap party. So I clicked on the link and I'm like, what is this? And it was like, I guess one of our sideline sisters, her Facebook wrap party. It was actually Christina Watts' wrap party. So we had the same up line. So anyways, so hers was shared on our page. Everything was smaller at the time when people did that or whatever. And I clicked on it. And I remember I was looking and I'm like, what is this? And the first thing I see is, she's double diamond and earned $25,000 in bonuses. So this is when she was a double diamond, you know? And I was like, what? This chick earned $25,000? No way. And I like did not care about the wrap party. I'm like, she must be a celebrity. And I'll never forget, like, I went to her Facebook page and I'm like scrolling, I'm like, how many friends does she have? That will tell you. And I'm looking at her friend. I'm like, and at the time, now she has a ton of friends. At the time it was like normal, you know? And I was like, normal? And I'm looking and I'm like reading, like looking at her pictures. I'm like, okay, she looks normal. How did she get $25,000? You know? So then I click back to the online party and I'm like, what? 911 dispatcher? Like, there's no way. And then it just intrigued me. And all of a sudden I remember going, and I almost couldn't sleep that night. And I'm like, if this normal mom who was working, you know, for the Phoenix Police Department with a kid, if she can make $25,000 with this, what if I could make money? You know, and that's when it really hit me. Like, if she can, why can't I? If I can, why can't you? And it kind of brought me to a moment I had just a few weeks ago. And I remember I was in the car praying because I just said to John, hey babe, you know, Jocelyn, she's 2, almost 3. So I wanted to put her in ballet class. And, you know, Juliana, I was thinking I might put her in like a little, my kinder music class. And I started telling John all these things I want to do. And I'll never forget him looking and going, SherriLynn, what envelope is this coming from? Because we had always, our entire marriage, have lived by the Dave Ramsey envelope system, which I have like a love-hate with. And so for me, I would just always take all the envelopes with me when I went to the store. But then I would get in trouble when there wasn't the right amount of electricity and all that. So anyways, so we always lived on Dave Ramsey. And so when John said that, though, something hit to where I'm like, man, I mean, I was blessed to be a stay-at-home mom. You know, I had my styling company on the side, and that was kind of like our extra travel money and stuff. But it was the first time I realized, whoa, there's not extra. Like, I grew up and I was a dancer. I danced through college. And I'm like, can I not put my daughter in dance? And it wasn't like John was trying to be mean. He was just like, babe, like, where is it coming from? Like, there wasn't anywhere. And that's when I realized, man, I've got to find a way. And it was getting harder for me to do clients and things because I was now having to pay babysitters to watch 2 kids when I would have a client that I was supposed to go, you know, take shopping or organize her closet and things like that. So it's like I was almost not even able to do what I used to be able to do. I couldn't go fly and visit, you know, do the different things I was doing with work. And it's like all of a sudden I was like, man, like, Lord, show me a way. So anyways, so as I was in bed, I saw that party and the light bulb went, what if this is it? What if this is the thing that the Lord has placed in my hand that's really gonna, you know, be able to give us that breathing room, give us that extra? And I remember just, you know, being in ministry, there were so many times we'd have missionaries come and it's like, I would be like, oh, I want to give, like, I want to sponsor those kids. I want to do that. Or, you know, and I'd always see that and it'd be like, okay, well, we can pray for them, which is great, is the most important thing. But I wanted to help financially, but we just didn't have it. Like, there wasn't anything. It's like we could charge a card to give to the missionaries, but like, that's not what you're supposed to do. And so anyway, so that was kind of cool. So with It Works, I was like, hey, maybe this is it. So the light bulb went on and I decided I'm going to go for it. I didn't really know what I was doing. But, you know, I knew I needed to get people to do it with me. So that's all I knew. So I'm like, I can do this. So I picked up the phone and I called my best friend, Kathy, had her come over. You know, I went through my sister-in-law, Stacy, like called her. Like I went through one by one, my friend Yadis. It's like, okay, friend, come to my house. Make sure to bring your purse. Sometimes you don't bring your purse when you come over, bring your purse, you know. And I had all my friends come over and I basically said, hey, I'm going to try this business. It's $99. If we're not making money in 1 year, we'll quit. Will you try it with me? And that's what I did to every person that was close to me in my life. Some of them said yes. You know, my sister-in-law is a presidential diamond, was my second distributor. My friend Kathy, my very first distributor, she's a triple diamond. You know, so my mom's a double diamond. She was one of my first ones. She told me no first until I got my first paycheck. Then she came over with her credit card and said yes. But, you know, so some of them said no. Some of my friends, my friend Krista, Becky, like some of them, it was like 6 months later, a year later. You know, one of my very best friends, Esty, she's double diamond now. It took her about 1.5 years even, but I still asked them all. And a lot, I was surprised, did say yes. So what I tell people is, you know, for you, start with your warm market. Some people tell me, oh, but my warm market, they said no. That's okay. There's still other people, you know, but that's who I started with because those are the people I had relationships with. And one by one, I said, will you do this with me? We're going to give it 1 year. And I love that my mentality was 1 year. I didn't hear that from anybody. It was something I just kind of made up in my head because not long before, John and I were really talking about what I could do, like to make money. And I do have my undergrad in psychology, started graduate school, just didn't get going. We moved, had kids, but I mean, I do have, college education, things like, but I had 2 little kids. So it's like, what could I do, And so at one point we talked about maybe me opening, a children's boutique, and we looked into that, and then small business loans. And we were looking at how much debt we would be going into to start a business. And most, those type of stores, a lot of them don't even make income for the first 2 years. Are you actually in the green, and different things like that? So I was somewhat familiar with the research we had done. So for me, I was like, I'll give it a year, and a year isn't even that long. You probably should give it longer, but I knew I wasn't going to give it a month. I wasn't going to give it 2 weeks. So that mentality really helped me with this business, because I didn't expect it to be overnight. My goal was actually in 1 year diamond. I'm like, if I'm diamond in 1 year, that'd be pretty cool, making 2,000 like a month. So I was thinking like that, more long-term. And I think that's what you have to do. Is you've got to realize this isn't necessarily going to be overnight. For some people, it is going to be quicker. It went much quicker for me than I had anticipated. But even if it hadn't, you've got to kind of be in it for the long haul. I'm going to try this and see, because what in life can you do where you're rich in 2 weeks, you're rich in 2 months? You know what I mean? Even a business, you starting a business, you are not going to start making money for years, And so I really think people need to change their thinking. And I think that would prevent so many people from throwing in the towel before they even truly give it time. And so, so that's kind of what I did. I asked, what do I do? Almost 2.5 years later, I still am asking people. That's what I do. I ask. And so if there's someone I think they would do great, I ask them on the adventure with me. Hey, I think you'd be awesome with this. Have you ever thought of working from your phone, working from home? I ask people. Now maybe they're not so warm market, because I have asked most of those, but I get to talking with a dance mom, a double diamond on my team. How did I meet her? Our girls, because I was able to put my girls in dance. Things still works. As we're sitting outside a dance class, I start talking to the dance moms. They ask about my shirt. I start showing before and after pictures. Before you know it, there's 5 kids in the dance class, 3 are loyal customers, 1's a double diamond, and 1's a kind of weird fitness guru, gym instructor that we haven't really got yet. But that's okay, 4 out of 5, that's pretty good, and 1's a double diamond, so I'm okay with that. But, that's what I did. And so that's kind of when people ask me, how did I grow my business? When I joined, it was the Go Diamond in 3 months, and you get the $10,000 bonus. I remember thinking, no one really does that, but, I know the one police dispatcher did it, so I'm going to try, And I did do a lot of wrap parties that beginning, because a lot of the people I was signing were local. So my mom, we would just have a wrap party at her house every week, and then someone launched, great, bring them and their people to my mom's house. And so we kind of did those, the first couple months so I hit diamond in the 3 months, and then the next month went double diamond. And so I did do a lot of wrap parties then, but I was always really utilizing Facebook and just the whole that. Were they warm market people? Yeah, sort of, but they weren't necessarily best friends. I look at some of the people that joined, and it was a friend I went to church with, his mother, is on my team and is a double diamond. Or I just look at the different people. So it's not we were best friends, but because they were seeing me post, I was utilizing social media. I did not probably sign my first stranger. These were all people I somehow knew. So it was very warm market for probably until maybe even presidential diamond, to where now is, once I hit presidential, maybe it was a good year in that I finally started to kind of tap into the whole adding people I don't know and starting to grow my Instagram and do things with that. So that's not I guess up to my first year after presidential was very warm market, doing parties, reaching out. I reached out. I didn't expect people to come to me. I can't count the number of messages I would send daily to friends and people I knew saying, hey, I thought of you. I thought you'd be great with this business. Are you at all interested? And got tons of no's, but a lot of those no's turned yes to yeses. And so that's kind of how I did it. I feel like I asked people, and I'm still asking people.
I love it. I love your story so much. Your energy is seriously the best. Oh. So I have a lot of people want to know, what does your daily routine look like now? How do you balance everything with 2 kids? And what does that look like for you? Okay. So what I'll say is I feel like I've definitely done things the wrong ways, and I've done things, the right way. And so, for me, I did do it pretty quick. I mean, and everyone does it different. So I
went presidential a little before my 1 year, and then hit ambassador at about a year and a half. And so I did do that really quick. And so I did have those days where it was like the crazy and the chaos where I was like pushing for a promotion. Your promotion months are probably going to look a little bit different than like, you know, a normal month. And so I've kind of done it all. So I had some months where, yeah, it was crazy. I was, you know, all in doing it, but that wasn't necessarily I shouldn't say all in because I'm always all in, but I was like, you know, working like a lot of my day, because I did always think of it as I wasn't sacrificing, I was investing. You know, now the paychecks I'm getting is because I had invested, and I did put in a lot at that early, you know, building stage. But was how I was working my business as I maybe pushed to ambassador sustainable? Not really. And so it got to a point where I had to be like, okay. And I had a few times where, you know, like the Lord would check me or something would happen. I'd be like, I got to get things like, you know, under control. And at the end of the day, my life has to be God sitting on the throne as my number one, then my family, then my business. And so when things get out of order, it's not good for me. And so, you know, the Holy Spirit will check me, and it's like, okay, like I got to pick up my Bible, my devotion before I pick up my phone in the morning. And so I have to make sure my day is always structured like that, because that's when I feel like my business is blessed. But so I've done the crazy, but I came up with a checklist probably 6 months ago, and I think Alyssa, you shared that with them.
I'm gonna share it on the team pages.
Okay, yes. And so my checklist was kind of one day I remember it was right after I went ambassador, having a coaching call with Pam. And, you know, telling Pam, you know, here's the thing, Pam, I'm not saying I don't want to go black diamond, but I'm saying I can't push more than I'm pushing. Like I just can't. I can't do more than I'm doing, you know. And I remember her being like, well, what do you mean? First of all, and she said, I don't even like the word push. That's like a yucky word. So like, you don't need to push, like, you know, she's like, but what do you mean? I'm like, I mean, I can't go morning to night. Like there's days I work my business from morning to night. Like I can't do that. Like I've got little girls, and at the end of the day, like my number one is like, I want to be mom, and I'm a stay-at-home mom. My kids aren't in school yet. Well, I mean, they do now, like a couple of day a week, little like half preschool thing. But my oldest, she's not in kindergarten yet. So like my girls they're home with me. And she's like, okay, well, you should be able to work your business in a couple hours a day. And she's like, 2 hours a day, you should be able to work your business. And I was like, no way. What do you mean? She's like, you need to spend your time doing income producing activities. Like, what are you doing all day? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, I might be answering questions or, you know, this. She's like, no, you don't need to answer questions. Like, people can figure out their questions, you know, and sure, if I enroll someone new, I'm going to help them. But in general, like so many times the questions or the things you're getting, someone can open their computer and look it up in their document library. They can go to their team page. Like they can, you know, find pricing in a catalog, or heaven forbid, call customer service. Like, you know, that's what I did. Like my enroller was in the business 2 weeks longer than me. Like I didn't have her to ask, you know, I was figuring out stuff myself. And so, after she said that, it hit me. Okay, so income producing. What's income producing for me? Well, for me, SherriLynn, income producing now, my business is still messaging people. It's growing my network, adding people to grow my network. It's, you know, scheduling, like I do once a week, a Facebook wrap party. It's checking in with my top 10. My top 10 is what Mark talks to us about, which really everybody should have. Whether it's a top 5, it's who are those key people that you're really working with. Maybe they're leaders on your chart. Maybe in your top 10, it's some newbies you just enrolled, however it works, working with them. So I came up with a checklist of kind of 12 things, and it takes me 60 to 90 minutes to do. And when I started doing that first thing, being like, this is the first thing I'm doing, then I knew, man, I got in my messages today. I sent messages. Now I can wait for, you know, some people to reply or follow up, or in my top 10 talks about following up with some customers. It gave me income producing activities to where I could check them off. And some days I'm able to do them first thing right away. Some days it goes throughout my day, so then I'm working my business. But if you can do your checklist early in the morning, and Alyssa is going to share it with you guys because I sent it to her.
Yep, I already posted it.
Okay, she posted it. She said she already posted it. When I was able to check that off, I knew I'm growing my business, you know, and some of the things on there are schedule my posts for the day. So if you're throwing in 3 It Works posts for the day, mixed in with 3 lifestyle posts, I have those saved on Instagram. I have them now in drafts, now that you can save your drafts. I like that better than airplane mode, because sometimes like this morning, I accidentally hit all my airplane mode at once. I don't know what I did. And it was like posting a million pictures. So I like drafts, you know. But so that's kind of, that helped me because then I didn't feel glued to my phone. Because here's the thing, a lot of the times you're on your phone all day, or you feel like you're on your phone, not paying attention to your kids, but what are you doing on your phone? Like, are you scrolling, or you have that time where your girls are napping? And this, I'm talking to myself, this is how I was. I'd have time my kids are napping. And then I'm like, yeah, I meant to do this, but I ended up on this and looking at this Facebook. And what did I do? I got nothing done. My kids just took an hour nap and I did nothing because I wasn't planned. You know, like I didn't have it planned. So you really have to have your checklist for the day. And some people do a weekly checklist, but I kind of like a daily checklist because I want to message people every day. Because I know for me, I've got to send out a good, you know, if I'm messaging or if I'm following up with potentials, however it is you grow your business. And so, you know, yeah, so that's kind of your hundreds list, adding new people to your hundreds list. That's on my checklist. So I do that every day. That way I don't feel strapped to my phone. And then one thing we did early on in the business, even when I was pushing for ambassador, even though I shouldn't say the word pushing, because I feel like Pam would be like, don't use the word push. But even when I was working towards ambassador, John and I, we weren't scared to have blackout time. And that would be like, family dinner was like blackout time. We don't even take our phones to dinner because we sit at the table because I want my kids to be able to know that, you know, I read my girls a book every single night before bed. Before this Zoom, I knew I had this Zoom at 8, so we read the books a little bit earlier. Like I read them the books like mom time, you know, blackout time. I had to turn first thing in the morning as a blackout time for me because my girls were waking up. And I was waking up, but I was trying to answer questions from the night before, but then they're just waking up. So then I'm getting frustrated with them first thing in the morning. No, I don't need to look at my phone. I need to make them breakfast, get them settled, put on the cartoons or whatever they're going to do. Then they can go play. Then I do the phone thing. So it's just picking those blackout times because you don't have business hours, but you definitely have the freedom to say no, because I didn't join a company then to feel bound to my phone. Like, that's not why I joined. Like, I was a stay-at-home mom before. So, like, I was already staying home, kind of living that part of my dream. But I wanted more. I wanted freedom, and which this business has given us. But you just have to remember, you're still in control of your business. You're in control. Like, you're the boss of your business. So you get to pick your business hours. So, sure, like, if I'm on a family vacation, I'm still going to have my posts. I want my team to see I'm working. But I may not be doing as much as when I can. I just think so much of it comes to being organized and being intentional with your time. So that was a really long answer to that question.
No, I think it's so perfect. Okay, let me find the other ones. I was like into this. I don't even have my questions pulled up. Okay, it says okay, this is like something I am like dying to know, because you were top 150 income earner and now you're top 10, and that happened in the blink of an eye, 1 year, right?
Well, you know what, to me, even more than that, because I'm like, I feel like the numbers change so much. I hate even saying that. Like, I mean, Marcus said I've been top 10 a couple months. I don't know if I am for like a whole year, but I mean, I've, been in there for a couple months. But let me tell you all my favorite thing is that I went to conference, had been in the business just a couple months, went to my first conference, would that be 2015, at Double Diamond, sitting in the very back, which actually I did sneak up to the premium seating because I'm like, no, I'm not sitting way back there. But anyways, yeah, so I might have snuck up to there. But besides that, I didn't know you could buy it, and then they weren't for sale, but I was like, I can't watch from that screen anymore. So I might have weaseled my way a little closer than I was supposed to, just flip the wristband around, whatever, call it a day. But yeah, so sitting in the very back at my first conference, knew nobody. I had never even, literally, I knew so little about this company. I didn't even know like what Mark Pentecost looked like. I kind of knew his voice from like a couple of those calls. I remember hearing Mike being like, oh, okay, that's the one guy. I know that voice from that call. Okay. But like, I didn't even like know these people. I was so new. And the only reason I even went to this conference was because my mom's sister lives, in Orlando. It was at Orlando, that one. And my mom's like, well, I'm going to go because I want to see Lynn. And I'm like, well, if my mom's going to the conference, like I need to go. So there was like 3 of us that went. Okay. That was my first conference, sat in the back, knew nobody, but I left so inspired, really thinking, hey, if they can do it, why can't I? I watched the Millionaires Club walk by, across the stage. I heard stories of, I was a teen mom. I was a hairstylist. My husband was in the Army. I was, professional cheerleader. Like, I just heard all these diverse types in the medical field industry or whatever. And I was like, if they cannot do it, why can't I? Okay, SherriLynn, you can do this. Because even then I thought maybe double diamond, like I lucked out. I was like, okay, I got, that diamond bonus. Maybe I lucked out. But that was conference, 2015. I went back at conference 2016, a presidential diamond, one of the speakers on stage, in the top 150. And that was what more blew my mind than anything, thinking that I can go from a double diamond. And when I say double diamond, my first double diamond check was like $3,500. Like, I was not like, it wasn't like a good paid double diamond or anything, I mean, it was still awesome, but like, it wasn't like, I didn't make $6,000 my first check. Okay. So I was like a double, so to go from that to then my next year, in 1 year, being on stage as a speaker, like, even what's even crazier, you guys, is my first conference was February. So let's see, February, not even 1 year later being on stage. But what's crazy is going from a double diamond in February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, whenever they did Dash, to then going 6 months later, going to Dash, getting that. It just goes to show, and this isn't tooting my horn, this is to show you guys, so much can change in 6 months. So much can change in 1 year. You might be like, right now, I am a ruby. That does not mean you won't be a triple diamond next year if you decide to do this business. I'm a diamond. I've been a diamond. I don't care. That doesn't mean in 1 year you can't be a presidential diamond too. Because if you would have told me when I said at conference at Double Diamond, oh yeah, next year you'll be on stage. You'll actually be on a panel. Oh yeah, you'll be going to that. I didn't know what Dash was. Even when I got the email, I was like, I am so confused what any of this is. But I just kept going for it. Kept, trying to sign distributors, reaching out, signing distributors, trying to sign customers, just filling names in, on my chart along the way, up the ranks, and having people quit and having people say no, but you just keep going. So that to me was crazy. Then going from last year to this year, to being, being where we're at. I mean, I don't really know. I'm like, it's because the Lord, because I gave my business to God, and He decided to bless it for whatever reason. And I promised whatever He put in my hand, I would use for Him and ultimately point it back to Him. That's really how I got here. But once again, I think it just came to, as cliche as it sounds, maybe steps to success. I never stopped just trying to bring in new blood, bring in new distributors, bring in new customers, teach my team to do that. And that's really what it was like. As far as money, why do I think I was a presidential diamond and in the top 75? Because my first Dash, that's what I was. I think Alyssa was too. Presidential diamonds. Why was my income up there? Probably because I had a lot of personally enrolled diamonds. So when someone joins my team, I'm all about, we've got to get you to diamond. We've got to get you to diamond. I really emphasize that. That's when, because for me, that was when I really felt like it was worth the time I was putting in money wise. So that probably helped, having a lot of people that join, and a lot of them, I tried to teach them the importance of being in it for a year. I would say that, like the whole, no, long-term, not 2 week. I think the long-term thing. And then I think probably the relationships. Mm-hmm. I truly have relationships with our team. And I think that's one of the biggest things, because at the end of the day, it's easy to walk away from a business. It's easy to walk away from a paycheck. It's harder to walk away from people who you have a relationship with. So if you have 2 people on your team, or if you have 20 people on your team, if you can make them a friend, if you can ask them about their kids before you tell them they're 200 BV short from Ruby, that's going to do a lot for you. And I think maybe for me that came a little bit easier because John and I have been in ministry for 10 years. We were young adult pastors. So it was all about relationships, just loving people. Because if money becomes your goal, I don't see you becoming very successful. But if it's helping people, you're going to get the money plus help them along the way. And so I think that's probably a lot of it. Just our team is close. Like if we're in an event, honestly, I'm like, I love the friends I've made, but I'm probably spending a lot of time with my team because I love them. And they know that. And I don't know. So I think maybe that's helped a lot. So
I love it. So where are you building most of your business is one of the questions. Are you hosting wrap parties? How are you doing your wrap parties?
Yeah. So the beginning, it was wrap parties because I was asking people to have them. I was signing a distributor local, so we were launching them, doing a lot of the launching. Now my business, I still would call it warm market because I'm just turning people into my warm market. Like, okay, the last distributor I signed, I'm in a volunteer group called Junior League. So she's from Junior League, so I signed her. Just another distributor I signed this the end of last month. She's a neighbor. I got to know her through like our neighborhood. Like, so I do a lot of like relationship building because that's what I'm best at. I did sign one distributor, from Instagram that I don't really know. Chana, I'm getting to know her, so I occasionally sign people like that. And I would love to get better at that. But a lot of mine does have to do with people I know, but it's not that I like know them because I've signed a lot of people I know. I'm forcing myself to get to know people. I'm getting to know the moms at my daughter's preschool. I'm getting to know. So I do a lot of that. So I'm not a mass enroller. Like I enrolled 5 distributors last month. The month before that, I only enrolled 2. That was like the first month probably since I joined. I didn't complete my steps to success. And I was super bummed, So I might enroll, it's been very rare. Couple times where I could enroll the 10, 11, 12, I've had a few of those months. But for the most me, it's like, I don't know, 3 to 7, I don't know, somewhere in there. So I don't enroll like a mass amount of people. But I'm able to focus on who I enroll and really work with them and really get them going. And so I feel like that's kind of good. So I just, as long as I have new people coming in, that's what I focus on. But a lot of it to me goes with like just getting to know new people and kind of growing my network like that.
Awesome. So what do your conversations look like with your potential distributors and your potential customers too?
So if it's somebody I like know, I'm just always trying to ask them about themselves. What do they do? And then I always kind of bring up Megan, I think you would do so good at It Works. What I do, have you ever thought about, working from your phone?
So do you cold message?
So I have never cold message or done any of that stuff, honestly, until very recently. So I wouldn't say that would be something I would say is what I've done now if someone's liking a business post I post or liking a product post, but this is all after Ambassador. I've been trying, it's been my new goal to try to learn how to work Instagram, so I'm not an Instagram pro at all. That's not how I got Ambassador at all. It was more people I knew, trying to get to know new people, Facebook acquaintances, my Facebook, before It Works, it probably still had 1,000 people on it. So I went through, messaged those 1,000, went through my friends list. I did more of that, people I somehow sort of knew. But now if someone's liking a product post, liking a business post, I will totally message them hey, do you want to be a 90-day product tester for these greens? And send that to them, if they're liking my greens post. Now I do that. And we'll sign a handful of LLCs here and there. And so I will, I don't know, I think that's considered cold messaging. I'm not sure. But so if I get a like, I'll do that. If I see a really cute Instagram girl, I messaged one, she didn't reply. But I could read what I put. I don't feel like I'm too successful at this to really be giving tips for it yet. But I sign a handful here and there. But if there's someone I think's cute, where's Hannah? This girl, she's really cute. She hasn't viewed it, so I don't know. She doesn't want to open it or just hasn't seen it. But I'll send something, and I don't really have a copy paste, and I probably should in my notes section have more of a copy paste, but I'm pretty genuine. So I just write what I think. So Hannah, hey girl, okay, I totally normally don't reach out to my IG friends about this, but have you ever thought about It Works, the business I do, or making money from your phone? You have the best IG account, and I just know you would rock this business if you're at all looking to make extra income. Does this interest you? If so, I would love to give you some more info. Let me know. Something like that, that's the kind of thing I would send. But since I didn't get a reply on that, I'm not saying you should jot that down.
I love that I don't reach out to people like this.
Okay, well, good. Let me read one too that worked. I'll read a product one too that actually worked because so this girl, Ashley, who's actually signing up to be a distributor tonight. So this would be a cold one I turned into, I guess. She was liking all my stuff. hey, Ashley, I'm updating my portfolio and looking for a few product testers this month with my discount. Are you interested? She goes, I'm interested in more info. How much and what products would I be testing? So I just take it to, oh, I work for It Works, a health and wellness company. Would you be interested in wraps that tighten, tone, and firm, greens for detoxing, hair, skin, and nail for hair growth, or fat fighters to absorb fat and carbs? Do any of those interest you? The wraps do, or the fat fighters. How much is the discount? So I go with that. Anyways, the girl orders, and then she messaged me today saying, wanting to edit her auto ship, and then saying, also, how do I join as a distributor? I'm quitting my job in a couple of months to stay at home with my babies. So it does lead to stuff. So I do that, and it's like a little bit, and I'm learning to do the whole cold market thing, but I would definitely say still the majority of the people, it comes from just getting to know them. And I can kind of feel like if I can get them on my Facebook, they're probably going to sign. So I do add anyway. My daughter, Jocelyn, I'm a room mom in her class. All the other room moms, I've got them on Facebook. You know what I mean? Junior League, the volunteer organization I do, I have them on Facebook. I get people on my Facebook because then they really come to me a lot, especially with the product. So that's that.
I love it. So when you're talking to someone about the business, how does that conversation look? Like, how do you get them to take the leap and really join?
Okay, so if it's somebody to get the leap into it, I normally, that would probably go to whenever it gets to like we're talking about the business. So we kind of built the relationship or whatever. I literally say, I actually have this saved in my notes, but it's just so basic. I say, it's $99 to become a distributor. You get about $130 worth of product. You can cancel or quit at any time, but you won't want to. Do you have, and that's it. Like I keep it like that. And I don't know that wouldn't be like the best message probably like if you're just sending to a stranger, but if you've been someone that you've gotten to know, you're talking to them, it's like, girl, try this business with me. It's $99 to become a distributor. You get over $99 worth of product. Cancel or quit anytime for free. You won't want to. Like, that's it. Like, that's all I say to them, And yeah.
I love it. That's so simple. You keep it simple, and I love that. So if you are explaining to someone going Ruby, what steps do you teach? How do you explain that? Because obviously, that's their first goal when they're getting started in the business.
So as soon as they're signed up, I definitely talk about, okay, let's get you these first 4 customers. And I put my new distributors in the little message group so that I can I still definitely, I'm sending them stuff individually, but as a message as well. And today, the girls that I had a couple of girls join the end of last month. So I said, I want to send you guys a good script. And their goal right now is to go Ruby. So they need those first 4 customers. So I said, I want you guys to send this message out. Hey, whoever, I joined a health and wellness company. It works. And I'm updating my portfolio and looking for a few product testers this month with my discount. Would you be interested? And their goal tonight is to send that to 20 people. And then for the reply, same thing as I kind of read you before, I give them 4 product options. Do this, this, or this. If the person says, sure, what products? Or, well, what products? And that I work with them like that. Let's get those first 4 customers. So I kind of focus on the first 4 customers first. And then the second they have those, I'm like, okay, girl, we got to get you a distributor. So, and even at the beginning, I'll tell them my first distributors were my best friend, my sister-in-law, and my mom. That may not work for everyone, that war market, but that's what I did. So I try to say, do you have people like that you think this would be fun to do it with? Because that's the thing. It made it super fun for me that I got to do this with my friends, my family. That's made it fun. And I know that's not everyone's story. And I've had, one of my good friends, Kelly, she's a triple diamond. Her family did not join, hers is totally different. So everybody's different. But for me, that's what I wanted. So then I start talking to them about that, about getting those distributors, reaching out to people, and generally saying, I think you would be good at this. Do this with me. Because you're not going to reach out to someone you don't think will do good. If I have someone reach out to me and I'm looking at their stuff and it's I'm like, you wouldn't be a good fit on my team. I want people that I think, we'd mix well and they do good with. So.
Awesome. Okay. So going back to wrap parties, one of the questions is, how do you get people to attend them? Do you have weekly set dates for people to be able to come? And how did you learn how to do wrap parties? Do you have a favorite YouTube video that you learned from, or did you kind of teach yourself?
I kind of made mine myself, but I did write my notes like in a party pad. So if you ever want to watch, I mean, I don't think they're like fabulous, but I do have all my I have rap parties on YouTube because my team uses them. So if you type in my name, rap party, you can watch my at-home rap parties. Cammie just made me do a live Facebook rap party like a couple weeks ago. So I did it, which was basically kind of what my rap parties look like. But you know, when I first joined, it was just me having mine, and I invited, you know, my friends. I did do personal invites. So it's like I would send them like a text message individually, as well as I did create like I did an Evite. I know people now like might do like Facebook, you know, but I still think you want to do more than just have that thing to where people click going or not going. I did like the personal, like, hey girl, can you come to my rap party? Just, you know, for my new business. Like that way they feel more like kind of obligated to come. And don't invite this like mass amount of people, because then I think it looks like, oh, well, they've got other people going to their thing. So like be like intentional in the who you're clicking if you're doing an Evite or if you're doing a Facebook invite. But I would say don't stress about the number of people, because I did do a rap party every single week, probably my first 3 months in the business. I don't do them every week now. Now I have once a month, one at my house that anyone in the area can come and bring their team to. But at first it was like every Wednesday, we like rap Wednesdays. We had rap parties every Wednesday, me promoting pretty much to Double Diamond was how we did it. And we got people by everyone inviting their friends. And I love if you've got 2 distributors in your area, you know, you guys, you know, we're a team or whatever, even if you're like sidelines, however it is, for me, it worked having my team. We'd all invite people. That way, if Alyssa had 2 people and Chelsea had 1, you know, and Amanda had 1, like it still felt like a little party, you know, and I've had rap parties that's been me and my mom and 1 other person, and we didn't make it seem party or weird, you know, and it was more like we sat there and kind of showed them some of the products, talked about it, signed them up, you know. I mean, I've had rap parties 2 people have come to, and one of those 2 people is now a diamond. So I don't stress about the number. To be honest, I've had rap parties where we've had 18, 20 people, you know, because there have been multiple distributors inviting people, and it's easy for them to slip out and not sign up. So those are honestly my least favorite rap parties, because I can't really control it to where, you know, where there's 5 or 4, I can look at every person and be like, so Alyssa, what are you going to order? Like, are you going to join the team with us? And I ask each one, so are you joining? Or are you going to be a customer? Which one? And I kind of just give them that option and look at them one by one. And everyone's like, oh, I'll be a customer. Okay. You know, like they're not going to leave and not buy something when you look at them and ask them. And so that's kind of a lot of what we did. How did I find people to do parties with? I mean, for me, the only people I could ever think of to do rap parties is asking my friends. And then it came from signing one of your friends. And now they're a distributor. So guess what? We get to have their party and invite their friends. Oh, good. We got one of them as a distributor. Now we're going to have their party, you know, and it kind of go like that. Or, oh, wow, we signed a loyal customer that seemed really interested. And I'm not scared. If someone wants to become a loyal customer, I'm like, hey, girl, okay, you really liked the raps? Yeah. Oh, you like the Fat Fighters? Will you host a rap party for me? And I'll give you a free rap and you can invite some people. My mom and I have had tons of loyal customers be like, sure. And they've had a little rap party for us, you know? So that's kind of how we do it. My mom is really good at getting like not good friends to host parties, like her realtor. I went with her and we did the realtor. Her Cincy girl, who she buys Cincy from, somehow she had her throwing us a rap party. We signed up a lot of people with that one. You know, so my mom will flat out like ask people like, will you have a rap party? Puts it on a calendar, sets dates, whatever. Mm-hmm. For me, it's always worked to where sign someone new, we kind of launch them, and then we get a customer or a distributor from there. And I really love the idea. I got it from Amy Spence, and we've utilized this one a few times. Every person that comes in signs in. And for the raffle, we're going to be doing a drawing and we'll let you know about it. Well, after the rap party, you call every single guest that came. And guess what? They all win a rap party. You win a rap party. They're like, oh, yeah, what does that mean? I'm going to come over, girl. You just have a few friends and bring snacks. Oh, it's going to be fun. And like every time we do that, one of those people will be like, okay. And we go do another rap party, you know? So I love that. Like you'll totally be able to book another rap party that way. That's your goal, you know?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love it. So obviously building to ambassador, you've had people quit along the way, maybe lose their vision. So the question is, when a team member starts to slack or they're about to quit, what do you do to help them get back on track?
Okay. So the bummer is at the end of the day, you can't control your team. You know what I mean? Like you're not even, I had this talk with a girlfriend today. It's like, I'm not anyone's boss. Like, sure, I'm like an upline, like I'm a leader support, but at the end of the day, like you join so you don't have a boss. So the best thing you can do is lead by example. If you see someone kind of slacking, suffering, sure, you can have that call like, hey, is there anything I can do to help you? And I've done that tons of times with when I see team members kind of getting down, or maybe someone's, like struggling with rank or whatever. What can I do? Like, would it help if I do like a Zoom? So if you're struggling, don't be scared to ask your upline, or reach out to Alyssa about, sometimes it took just me doing like a Zoom, getting some of their team a small little Zoom of 5 or 6, them seeing I care enough to, share some little tips or share ideas or brainstorm with them. So you can show them you're there. One of the best things you can do is know that what's that good thing that you tell me? The leader, the pace of the leader is the pace of the pack. Is that it? The pace of the leader is the pace of the pack? Okay. The pace of the leader is the pace of the pack. John tells me that.
Hi, John.
Poor John's sick. He just can't
sick.
Everyone take a deep breath. I'm like hyperventilating because Sherry doesn't breathe while she talks.
So sorry. I know I talk fast. But the pace of the leader is the pace of the pack. And so John always tells me that. So the best thing you can do for your team is be excited. You've got to know when you're feeling down, when I'm feeling down, when I'm in a funk, I can't let my team see that, or they're going to get down and in a funk. The best thing you can do is stay excited, stay pumped. Like that's what you've got to do. So that's one of the best things you can do for your team is just show them. I don't care if I am signing no one. 2 months ago when I had literally like my worst month in Network's history, like literally that was probably the only month since I joined. No, I think I had one more month right after I went diamond. I remember I had a month where I was like, I signed no one. But anyways, I had a really low recruitment month. What month was that? November. November was rough for me. Like, I was like, what in the world? Like, and I'm sending my messages, but that's okay because a lot of those seeds I planted, like, I'm reaping them now. But I didn't let my team know. I just stayed pumped. I stayed amped. I'm still posting. Posting's important, not because I think every time I post, I'm going to get a ton of customers. It's so important to post because you're showing your team your stores open. You're showing your customers your stores open. And that's really the point in it. Because if I'm not posting, my team's not posting. You know what I mean? And that's really a lot of why I do. I mean, I could sit there and message people on Instagram and sign people and probably not post as much, but I want my team to see it. You want people around to see your lights on, you're open, your team to follow your lead. And so anyways, when someone's, kind of fizzling, I'd have that talk with them. What can you do to help them? And just go, hey, what can I do to help you? I want to help you. Like, I know you can do this, but ultimately the decision's up to them, and I've had people quit. I mean, honestly, it was one of the hardest things. One of my triples, who's one of my like best friends in the world, she just had some family stuff and life stuff and stopped. And I mean, that was hard. She had a team, like, we've done this. And it's like, and that was the first time I'd had someone super close to me, and they could always come back. But that does happen. And you have to know it's not your fault, because at the end of the day, you can't control, but the best thing I feel like you can do is just be there for them. And then lead by example and always stay positive, because just know what your feelings trickling down. So.
Yes. So one of the last questions I'll ask is, how do you incorporate giving into your business, your goals, posts, or even your team members? Giving is a huge part of my why, and I want it to be a big part of my business as well.
Yeah, how do I incorporate it? Well, I mean, when it comes to giving, like, we're just always, sharing what It Works is doing, as far as like, It Works is really so much of their mission is giving. That's like Cindy's heart, is gives back and giving. So I think just one of the best things you can do is show them the opportunities they have. First of all, every single person can donate, $1, $3, or $5 in your e-suite, sharing on your team page, sharing with your team missions trips. One of my best friend, Kathy, my first distributor, just got back from the missions trip to Honduras. They just had last week before, or 2 weeks ago. Yeah, a couple weeks ago, so she did that. So that's important. For me, this probably isn't showing. I mean, to me, giving is just a way of life. Like, I would never not tithe 10%, because I believe that really it's all the Lord's, and he's letting me keep 90, and 10 I'm giving, is just the minimal. So that's just kind of how we live. But I think, just kind of leading by example. I sometimes, there's times where we'll give and I might not post about it, because I'm like, I just, want to keep this private or whatever. But then there's other times I do think it's important to post so you can show your team. It's not that I want the pat on the back that I paid off some Christmas layaways, but to show my team, look at this is what you can do. We're blessed to be a blessing. And it's showing. And it's not that you want the pat, but it's just showing, we can give this waiter this kind of tip. And I think that is good to show because that's the heart of it works. And then it really inspires other people to do it. So, there's a lot of times, we post by showing. I don't know if I answered that question exactly right, but
yes,
is that what I'm saying? Okay.
So my last question for you is, going into a new year, what are some of your biggest tips on starting the year strong, ending the year strong, having that focus, having that belief in yourself?
I would say, honestly, one of the best thing you can do is set out, make that dream board, make those dreams. Like if I literally picked up this computer and took it to my bathroom mirror, you would see all my goals for the month in there with a dry erase board on. And my cleaning people know not even to erase it because it's there. And I tally as every customer and distributor I sign because I have that set out for a goal. I have rank goals, but then I have my dream board. So I think you start the year with that dream board because it's crazy, guys. If you don't have those dreams written down, you won't realize when they are checked off. Every single item I wrote on my dream board last year is checked off, with the exception of going to the island. And I did tell Mark about that. And, which I am going to the ranch, so I guess that kind of can, but it's we'll go to the island for the wedding. Yeah, but besides
the wedding, I'll be there.
Yeah, we'll go to the island for the wedding. But that wasn't in 16. But so Kyler's wedding, that can be checked off. But but really from everything from trips, and I wouldn't have made those trips a goal, but they were on my dream board. So I knew, no, Disney family, Disney cruise is on the dream board. It's a goal. So it made me want to make it happen. Even income goals, putting those. I wrote, last year I was presidential. So I wrote ambassador. I wrote, we wanted John to be presidential, and he was, just every single thing, writing it. Because the word of God says without vision, people perish, and then, it is so important to have, I might have it. Hold on. But so I think it's just so important to have, as the year starts, just to have those dreams written out. And then you have to have your monthly goals. Because here's what I know. The few months I didn't have my exact goals. And we all have the steps to success. And that is as silly as that might sound, it's really not, because it's giving you something. Okay, here. Habakkuk 2:2-3, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tablets that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So it's that's, in Habakkuk talking about just having visions, writing it down on the tablets. It's really biblical. And so, I think it's important writing it. I think it's important speaking it out, and so that's what I would say you do for the year. I remember one month not updating my mirror in my bathroom, and because I didn't update my mirror in my bathroom, the end of that month going, I did not reach any goal, what? And I'm but I didn't even write anything. I didn't, I didn't have it set before me. So I didn't have those goals. And John will say I pray in the shower, as weird as that might sound. And since I joined the business and decided I was doing it, what would I say as I'm showering?
I am Ambassador Diamond, and everyone on my teams are Ambassador Diamond.
Yeah, I'd be washing my hair. John's he's my wife is so weird. I'm I'm Ambassador Diamond. Thank you, Lord. Everyone on my team, we are Ambassador Diamond. You know what I mean? In my girls in bedtime prayer, my 5-year-old, because she's heard me, she's and Lord, I pray and thank you that Moms at Work's business is going up. And she says that just because she hears that's what we say. So the poor thing thinks she's just got to declare and thank the Lord it's going up, And that's, so I think speaking it, and I truly believe you've got to see it, see it, you've got to speak it, you have to pray for it, and then ultimately you have to work for it because, you've heard it a dream without action is just a wish. And so, you do have to then implement it. So I want to be an ambassador. What am I going to do to get there? But that's what I would say. Absolutely. Having those dreams, having that plan, writing it out and speaking it. Yeah.
What was that verse again? Will you read?
Habakkuk 2:2-3.
Oh, so good. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Do you have anything else you want to add before I hang up?
No, you guys, I say make those dream boards. It's January and there's the dream drawing, which is huge. So sign those distributors, get those entries, and plant those seeds. Even when you don't see, this is what I know, even when I'm not seeing it, the fruit doesn't mean it's not getting ready to grow, and so I would just remind you, I heard it said before, somebody that harvests corn, they can't compare their fields to somebody else who's harvesting, watermelon or who's harvesting, something else. And so you've just got to know, like, don't compare yourself, because maybe someone next to you is reaping and you feel like, what's going on with me? But your time's coming. And so ultimately you just got to keep planting, because, if you don't give up, you will reap a harvest. And so that would be what I would say.
Oh, you're amazing. Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate you so much.
Okay, you guys have a good night.
Good night. Good night, everybody.